thundering the bells on a Wednesday night, and then Indiana gets the win, 101-70 over Milwaukee, who's favored to win the Horizon League. We're not going to get too far out over our skis. We're not going to say that this win, they're second to 100. They've scored 99, 100, and 101 in their 3 games. But we're not going to talk about what's going to happen against Michigan or Ohio State or against Illinois or against anybody else in the Big Ten or Louisville or Kentucky, who I watched last night, and I thought, holy hell, this is a different level of basketball from what we see normally in the Big Ten. Anyway, a lot of really, really good stuff, and we're smiling, aren't we? Smiling. Because what are we seeing? We're seeing coherent basketball. We're seeing fundamentally sound basketball, tough basketball, basketball where the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and these guys can shoot. And that's a good thing. We like it when Indiana guys can shoot, especially shoot threes. Made threes have not been a part of the recipe for Indiana basketball for a long time. This is a team that can shoot, and this is a very, very special victory post-game. Indiana over Milwaukee tonight, 101-70. Become a member. Become a subscriber. Hit that subscribe button. You can win a prize. We're acquiring new prizes on a near daily basis. We got 5 Colts jerseys in the queue. We will have Indiana stuff on the regular coming up. Cannot wait to watch his team play again. We got 3 days until we get to watch Indiana football play against Wisconsin. We got another game this weekend that Indiana is going to play against Incarnate Word. And then next Thursday, they've got yet another game against kind of an opponent, Lindenwood. Great to see the walk-ons get on late again. That's 3 for 3. I love that Darren DeVries plays the walk-ons. Doesn't just forget about those guys at the end of the bench like so many coaches at Indiana have. I don't like that. These guys work their asses off to get a little bit of run at the end of the game. 2 minutes, that's a significant thing. And to sit your starters down with a few minutes to go and kind of, give them a bit of a blow, I think that's a good thing too. I know that coaches aren't paid to make sure that walk-ons get on the floor, but I think being a human being mandates that they do. So let's talk about the things that we saw last night, and what I liked. I liked so many things about this game and about this team. I like Tatum Conaway getting the ball to the bucket. I think he is a really good basketball player, and I think that converts from this kind of game to the other kind of game. The other kind of game being the game against Big Ten opponents. Charles Egger says, any IUFB injury updates with Drew? No. Elijah Surratt is day-to-day. Evans is going to be out for a couple more weeks, and we just don't know. So, but we're talking about basketball night. Love you. Love you, Charles. All right. I like the pace because the pace is going to bait opponents into playing at their pace. Guys want to run, right? And so when you run, guys all of a sudden feel like, hey, we get to run too. That's going to be a good thing for the Hoosiers. They hustle on defense if they are occasionally unsound defensively. Martin says, how about those Hoosiers shooting the 3 ball? Love this IU basketball team this year. Absolutely. And IU football team, go Hoosiers. I like the way they play. I absolutely do. I think Enright is kind of an old school Hoosier. I think Reed Bailey, I don't know, he may be a distant cousin of Damon Bailey. Maybe a distant cousin of Neil Reed, the late Neil Reed. No, that's unlikely. Reed Bailey with 2 Indiana heritage-rich names. And but I like him. He reminds me of an IU player from the 80s. He's got the 1980s hair working. He's got the 1980s game where he's kind of a big who can shoot it a little bit. I like it. Looks a little bit like Todd Meyer to me. Looks a little bit also like maybe Richard Mandeville. What do you think of that? I thought they had a coherent offense. They got shooters. They got movement. They don't just catch and dribble. Like catching, standing, and dribbling drove me nuts the last, how many years? 9 years with Indiana, for the love of God. No one's wasting their money on expensive haircuts except for Trent Sisley. Trent Sisley seems to have a really good haircut. DeVries went to somebody who got way too much clearance around his ears. Conaway, I don't know what he's doing with the hair, but I like messy hair. You show me a group with bad hair, I'll show you a group that's thinking about basketball and not thinking about their hair. I like it. My wife said that she thought Conaway looked like Trae Young. I said, Julie, Trae Young, I don't know what Trae Young's doing with his hair, but the Conaway kid does not care about his hair. He cares about basketball. Show me a guy with perfect hair and really well put together hair. I'm going to show you a guy who's thinking about something other than playing a game. What are you worried about your hair for? Go play basketball. When hair can make a jump shot, I'm going to care about hair. All right? This is much more fun to watch than the previous 9 Indiana teams, and I'll go back further than that. I'll take this all the way back to 2013, 2014. I didn't enjoy watching that team or any team forward, and I'm aware that Indiana won the Big Ten 15 and 16. I just didn't like watching that team. I love that they beat Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. That was good, but they weren't fun. It wasn't enjoyable Indiana basketball. This is Indiana basketball. They're playing man. They're getting after it. They're trying their asses off. They're playing as hard as they can, getting on the floor. They're scrappy, and they can shoot. They turned it over a little bit in the first half. They had like 3 possessions in a row maybe, where they kind of turnover, and then they went bang, bang, bang and hit shots. If you're going to turn it over a little bit, you better be able to shoot. Because if you can't shoot and you turn it over, you can't win. Rebounding, a little bit of a problem. Like, I get it. When they play against the bigs at Michigan, there's going to be a problem rebounding the basketball. When they play against Purdue, I think there's going to be a little problem on rebounds. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hit your shots. Indiana is not perfect. There are things that they are lacking. But they're still so much more fun to watch than has been the case in the past. So here's what I think DeVries is doing. DeVries is setting that culture. That's what he's doing. He's making sure that these guys are doing the right thing at the right time. And so when they bring in guys behind these guys, that culture is going to be set. People are going to see what this culture is. And so when they make a decision to come to Indiana, they're going to know what they're getting into. You're going to follow in the footsteps of this team. You got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to function offensively as a collaborative unit. You got to be tough on the defensive end. You got to be willing to figure out how to get over screens, do what you're supposed to do, create some contact defensively without getting a foul called, that kind of thing. This is going to be a team whose DNA is toughness and knocking down shots. And I'm in. I don't even want to. I wrote down what happens when IU plays against a team with great length. We'll find out. That's a conversation for another day. And tonight's a happy day. You know what? There were like 4 possessions in this. I think early in the second half, where I thought, you know what? Indiana's had the ball too long. They got to be coming down to the end of the shot clock. There were 13 seconds on the shot clock every single time. I just became so conditioned to them shooting quickly that I thought when they had it for 17 seconds, they must have had it for about 28. That's a good sign. I love the pace of play. Now, at the end, they slowed it down a little bit. And I don't blame them. You got to play winning basketball, right? If you're up by 20 with 6 minutes left, you got to take some time off the clock. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. I just really enjoyed watching them get out and run. I like Conaway a lot. I like Wilkerson a lot. DeVries got hot a little bit in the second half. That was good. I like Enright. I thought he was good. Dorn hit a shot. I thought that was nice. Toby says, what you described comes with DeVries coaching up and further developing these young men. Absolutely. Clifford, windmills are saved for very special occasions and Friday morning. Now, for $2, usually I'll do a windmill anywhere. You catch me out to dinner and say, here's $2, do a windmill. I say, okay, I do. But you know what? windmill is kind of a morning or afternoon thing to get the blood circulating. I want my blood to pool right now at night because I got to get up at like 5 in the morning and do a radio show. So let's go. All right, let's go over the happy totals. I'm telling you, you know what? I almost thought I'm not going to renew my Ken Pom subscription because I got tired of looking at red numbers. I knew what the numbers were. I didn't need Ken Pom to tell me how bad Indiana was shooting the basketball, how off target they were shooting foul shots, how indifferent they were defensively. I could see it. I didn't need to know they were 324th shooting the three last year, or in how many threes they took. LaFonso Ellis tonight on Fox Sports 1 was talking about the last 9 years or whatever that they have averaged, what were they, 317 in number of possessions where they shot a three. Just horrible. Not anymore. I don't remember seeing a mid-range jump shot. Not one. I saw a lot of layups. I saw a lot of threes. They scored 101 tonight. Everybody played. They had 12 guys get run in this game. Ian Stevens got in the game, hit a bucket, which is awesome. Nobody with 4 fouls. That's an improvement. The previous 2 games, they had guys with foul trouble. You had Bailey with 14, Connerway with 21, Wilkerson with 24. You had, there's DeVries had 12 with 5 rebounds. They rebound as a team. Miles had 5, Enright had 5, Connerway had 6, Bailey had, Bailey had 5, DeVries had 5, Enright had 5, and Miles had 5. Assists, they had a lot of assists, 23 assists tonight. That's pretty good. That is a number you didn't see on the regular from Indiana in the recent past. And I'm not kicking the sand on Mike Woodson because Archie Miller was the same and Tom Crean was the same. Unwatchable basketball. Toby says Indiana Sports Connection, that was always my biggest issue, standing around. I hated it. You had 4 guys standing, 1 guy with the ball, and as soon as he caught, he put it on the floor and looked around. Dribble with purpose. Dribble because you're trying to get from here to there, not because you don't know what the hell else to do with the ball. You're standing there by yourself. Dribble. Why? From 3 tonight, again, wow. IU, exactly the same number that they hit against the other Milwaukee team, Marquette. They were 14-28 for 50%. That's awesome. Free throws, they only hit 70.4%. What the hell's the matter with you people? Are you out of your mind? Hitting 70% from the line. I've never seen it. You got to get mad at something. It's Indiana basketball. Indiana fans have got to be pissed off about something at the end of every game. It's just what we do. So, not really. Conversely, on the other side, they only allowed, maybe it's just the way the Milwaukee offense runs, the way the Marquette offense runs, they allowed 7 assists. I think Marquette had 10 in their game on Sunday. Rebound-wise, yeah, Indiana still out-rebounded them by 4. They forced Milwaukee, I don't know if they're regularly good shooters, but they had 29.4 from 3. They were 7 of 18 from the line. Look, if you're going to beat Indiana, you need to keep them from shooting the ball well. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Kind of elementary. But I think that's more difficult than we think. Because they're going to get out and they're going to run and they're going to take the first open look, knowing that all 5 guys on the floor at all times have the green light and they're going to be able to shoot it at a ridiculous percentage. And that's going to be a really, really good thing for, obviously, for Indiana when we get to Big Ten play, which is not altogether that far off. What do we got? Today's the 12th. Big Ten play starts like on December, is it the 3rd? It might be. Let me check the schedule as long as we're just talking. Yeah, on the 3rd, they play at Minnesota. So what is that? That's like 17-3. That's about 3 weeks off. So real basketball in about 3 weeks. They do play Kansas State at Simon Scott Assembly Hall, but they've got Milwaukee and then Incarnate Word on the 16th, which is Sunday. That game at 5:30. Then you've got Lindenwood a week from tomorrow at Simon Scott Assembly Hall. That game at 6 o'clock. Both those games are going to be on BTN. Kansas State on FS1 on the 25th, which is that Tuesday before Thanksgiving? I believe that it is. And then you've got Bethune, which used to be Bethune-Cookman. There you go. And then it gets real. At Minnesota, against Louisville at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, then against Penn State at Assembly Hall, and then at Kentucky on the 13th. And then you got a couple of, kick a couple of teams' ass and have a nice holiday. Those are against Chicago State and Siena. Beautiful. A great game. Really fun, wasn't it? We'll see what the Hoosiers do throughout the season. But I'm getting ready to buy me another sweatshirt. And because you know what? When Indiana wins, I got to get swag. If they had a swag store open now, I'd drive over and buy another hoodie. What are you going to do? I can't help myself. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Breakfast with Kent, bright and early. Do I have anything else? New members. You know what? We always try to celebrate our new members, and we'll celebrate them again tomorrow morning. Ken Eschenbaugh he's a new member celebrating his membership. Will DeVries say, "I win Google me"? He will not. He and Signetti have some things in common. They have standards. They discipline to those standards, but the bravado with DeVries, not quite as strong, which is a good thing. It works for Signetti. We don't need another guy talking about home run hires, grand slam hires. Hey, we're going to the Final Four. I came here to win Big Ten championships. We don't need any of that crap. We had plenty of that crap from these other idiots. Now we got a guy who's just a basketball coach. I could not be happier about it. Rickist Mortiz celebrating his membership. Freddie Williams, happy membership. And Denny Putnam, happy membership. All right. Let's go. Let's go Hoosiers. Let's go Colts. Let's go Hoosier football. Let's go Pacers, for the love of God. Louisville looks tough for IU. Yes, they do. Love Brown Jr. Yes, really, really good. That's a good basketball team. And Indiana's going to be tested during that game. I think Kansas State might be manageable. Minnesota should be manageable, except at the barn. Nothing is a given. And then it gets real on December 6th. What a day that's going to be in Indianapolis. Are you kidding me? In the afternoon, you got IU Louisville at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And then that night at Lucas Oil Stadium, unless like all hell breaks loose and things go haywire, Indiana's going to be playing in the Big Ten Championship. What a day! It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.